It was great. We had great celebration for the Great Northwest this week at the Capitol, and people really started coming into the office as early as Monday during session, but real festivities started on Tuesday with the help of staff. We ended up providing a breakfast for area legislators as well as some of the leadership group from the Great Northwest Day Committee to come in and talk about priorities and welcome everybody to get those activities started on Tuesday. We had meetings throughout the day and of course, representatives from throughout Northwest Missouri. It didn't matter whether it was education, whether it was business, other governments, etc. All those people spent about a day and a half going around visiting legislators. And then on Tuesday night, something that's become quite a celebration. It has a lot of history already within the Capitol. People look forward to it, both staff as well as legislators, was a Great Northwest Day reception and showcase that happens at one of the local places here in town. And I really felt attendance was good. We've had a couple years of bad weather, etc. It seemed to me that we were back to a full attendance at that point, so I'm already looking forward to next year. Another thing that I was fortunate to be able to do was present a couple bills dealing with child care in the Health and Welfare Committee. One of these bills dealt with after-school clubs throughout the state. And after-school clubs, after-school programs are normally put on either through a school facility or with primarily nonprofits to help take care of and watch kids from 5 years old, kindergarten, through normally about middle school age, somewhere in the middle school age, until their parents can be with them and come by and pick them up. But with those things are a multitude of rules and regulations. I had a statewide group from the After School Network, come and propose some legislation that doesn't make kids unsafe, but to, I'm going to say shrink, make a rule not quite as strong that was really put in for toddlers and babies. But unfortunately, even if you had a 6-year-old, you had to follow this rule. So it's a way some of our child care problems and our child care desert sometimes is us as state government has made it so hard to provide those opportunities to kids that sometimes we have to look at those regulations and shrink those down. And we started that process, and I'm happy to say that I believe everybody was in favor of at least continuing that conversation. So hopefully we can continue that this year, and there is a sponsor over in the House. I know that the bill is at least going to get some time. And another thing that is complicated or can be once in a while is medically complex children in a daycare setting. Those are children that about require close to one-on-one care. They have some kind of medically complex condition, and whether it's something to do with their breathing, stomach, etc., mobility, they need somebody with them all the time. And those families have opportunities to have normally somebody with a nursing background come in and help watch those children, whether it's just for a short-term thing or whether it's something to do with that parent or parent's employment. Well, at this point in time in the state, that's all one-on-one. And some people had come to the Department of Health Senior Services and say, hey, why don't we think about in some daycares maybe providing a space for these medically complex kids? And then we could take maybe one nurse to watch 3 children or 4 children. And it also helps those children, be around other kids without these complex things instead of being just in their house all the time, and doesn't force anybody to do anything. But the bill that I proposed that come from Department of Health Senior Services just makes this a possibility in the state today that it's not there yet. And again, it received some positive comments as well. And then the final thing I want to highlight this week is the fancy terminology is SJR 71. And it deals with the sheriff's retirement system. About a year and a half ago, due to a court case, the way that the state of Missouri had funded the sheriff's retirement system was determined to be unconstitutional. So those fees went away. And this is work that I've done with the sheriffs as well as the prosecuting attorneys to bring forth legislation that would ultimately end up in front of the voters to make those fees constitutionally allowed. So we've just started the process. I hope to be able to talk more about it because without a doubt, as somebody that cares about appropriations, I sat on Mosher's board, which is State Employee Retirement System. I'm one of those old nasty retired teachers. I understand retirement system a little bit, and sheriffs sometimes in our area don't get paid the big bucks. But one of the things that helps people look at that profession and maybe doing that and protecting us out in Northwest Missouri is the fact that they know there's a good solid retirement system in front of those, and I want to make sure that we get a solid retirement system back in place again in our state.